I think pro days are overrated. I truly do. I think pro days serve the day 2 and day 3 picks the best. You get the coaches, the GMs, everybody in the building to see, say, Shedeur throw or Cam Ward throw or see the big names work out. But it's the teammates, the other guys, that often get the bump from a pro day, which is good. It helps everybody. That is a good thing. I think private workouts are worth so much more. And there is this whole sports talk radio business here of criticizing teams and coaches and front offices for not going to a certain pro day. Guys, the private workout with the quarterback is worth so much more. Would you rather go to a college job fair to interview your prospective employee, or would you rather go to a one-on-one interview for the guy you want to hire? College job fair where 31 other employers are there looking at your resume, or one-on-one interview where the guy you might hire gets to interview with everybody in your building. Come on. It's so silly. Oh, these people are at the pro day. Who cares? Now, it does mean something that the Browns, the Giants, the Titans have big contingents there. They should. They're picking in the top 3. But generally speaking, the private workout is worth so much more. And you know it is pre-draft. We're trying to fill time season when your local sports talk radio is criticizing coaching and management for not going to a pro day. Talk about the lowest of low-hanging fruit.
But, Andrew, let me ask you this then, because there was reports that Daboll wasn't going to go to this Colorado pro day, and then it turned out that he was going. Doesn't it make sense if you're the coach and maybe your future quarterback is right there? Wouldn't you want to get as much info on this player as you go? If he's throwing in someone's backyard, I want to go watch him, because you're going to be so tied to this kid for the next couple of years. Your entire future kind of depends on this pick. So I'd probably want to see everything this person is doing.
You're totally right, TJ. He should be there. Yeah, if you're thinking of taking that quarterback, yes, absolutely. But I do think it is more important for Brian Daboll to work the quarterback out in private. I'll give you an example. So Cam Ward, we saw the Cam Ward Miami Pro Day a couple of weeks ago. Cam Ward, when he is up under center, and a lot of quarterbacks do this. Heck, Bernie Kosar did it, different athlete, has one foot in the bucket, right? So his left foot is slightly offset and open when he is under center to take a snap. If I'm working him out privately, I can say, hey, have your feet even. I want to see what your drop looks like there. I can say, hey, you gave me a 5, you gave me a 7, give me a 9-step drop. I know that's ridiculous, but I can ask you to do certain things. I could say, give me a roll to the left, and I want you to throw from that far hash and outcut to the field. I can ask you to do things that I want to see you do next year in my offense. Right? It's a private workout. It's private coaching. You get to see how I am face-to-face if I'm the coach with this quarterback, how he takes coaching, what is our interaction, and what is our chemistry. Do I like the guy? Right? I mean, these are all important things. Now, there are pro days, and I heard from Daniel Jeremiah that Jackson Dart's pro day for Ole Miss and Oxford, and Kevin Stefanski was there for that, was one of those where Dart and his people would like poll the audience, all the coaches. Hey, what else do you need to see me do? And people were throwing out suggestions. And so he would go do that. Like, there's that scenario as well. And those do happen. And tip of the cap to Jackson Dart and his people for doing it that way. Not to say the others don't, but, you know, generally they're very scripted. Hey, we're going to go 65 plays. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. And when we're hosting these pro days on NFL Network, and I've done a dozen of them at least, we get the script. We know what they're going to do. All right, hey, he's at throw 55. There's going to be some fun stuff here. He's going to, roll out, flip the hips, and throw it 70 yards into the end zone. Like, we know generally what's going to happen. They're scripted. They're tightly controlled. They're practiced. You go walk through the day before. So the private workouts, you get so much more because you can get hands-on. But, yes, TJ, you are right. To your point, you want as much data as possible. Mm-hmm. So the pro day and the private workout are both important.
Valid.
Now, people say, well, on the 30 visit, you can work them out. No, you can't. When they're in your building, NFL rules prohibit you from working a player out in your building. You can do a medical, but you can't work out in the building. So when you hear Jackson Dart is visiting the Steelers today, that's to do the car wash.
Like a meet and greet.
It's a meet and greet. You go from the owner to the coach to the OC. You might get on the board. You're going to go to dinner. You're going to meet the social team. I'm sure they're there, of course, to take photos. Maybe you meet with community relations. You meet everyone. You go up and down the hallways, and people are coming out to greet you. That's what that is. But you can't work out. You cannot do that. And then each team has what they have. They're called local visits. And so you're allowed unlimited local visits. And so, for example, the Rams and the Chargers, for that matter, have rights to like players at SC and UCLA. So if they want to bring in Carson Schwessinger, for example, the UCLA linebacker, they can do that and not call it one of our official top 30 visits that we have to register with the league. The Browns can do it for like Ohio State and Bowling Green. You know, Buckeyes, that's a big one. So that's how it works.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.